I've seen a lot of people rush into the cheapest 2-bay NAS they can find, only to end up fighting with slow backups, constant disconnections, and a storage capacity that disappears the moment they add a new camera, or a few gigabytes of family videos. That regret curve is real, and it's what makes me pause before I click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The question with the Synology DiskStation DS420j is whether it feels like the smarter buy that lets you avoid that disappointment, or if it's just another entry-level box that will need a quick upgrade. When I first dug into the DS420j, the thing that stood out was the way Synology frames the device, made for a variety of server roles, such as home. That tells you they are not trying to sell a pure media streamer, but a small-scale server you can actually use for backups, personal cloud, surveillance, and even a modest Plex library. The hardware itself is modest: a 1.4 GHz quad-core RTD1296 CPU, 1 GB of DDR4 non-ECC memory, and 4 bays that can each hold a 3.5-inch SATA drive up to 12 TB, giving you a theoretical 48 TB ceiling. None of those components are installed out of the box, so you'll need to buy the drives, and if you want more than the base memory, upgrade that yourself. That upfront cost is a reality check, but it also means you can tailor the storage to what you really need. Let's talk about daily usability. The moment you power it on and plug the Ethernet cable into your router, the Synology DiskStation Manager (DSM) OS appears on your phone or laptop as a web interface. It's clean, almost App Store-like, and you can set up a RAID configuration in a few clicks: RAID 1 for mirroring, RAID 5 if you decide to fill 3 drives and want redundancy with better space efficiency. What matters in real life is that the initial setup takes less than 10 minutes, and you don't have to stare at cryptic BIOS screens. After the basics are done, DSM's Quick Connect feature lets you reach your files from a coffee shop without fiddling with port forwarding, which is a genuine win for anyone who travels or works remotely. Now, the practical strengths. First, the 4-bay layout gives you room to grow. I've seen families start with 2 4TB drives for photo backups and later add 2 more for a home surveillance system. The DS420j can handle both without needing a new chassis. Second, the 1 GB Ethernet port is enough for most home internet speeds. Streaming a 1080p movie from Plex while a backup runs in the background still feels smooth. Third, DSM's built-in apps, like Synology Drive and Moments, turn the NAS into a personal cloud that syncs across phones, tablets, and laptops, which replaces the need for a separate Google Drive or Dropbox subscription for many users. Finally, because the OS is continuously updated, you get security patches and new features without buying a new device. On the flip side, there are hidden trade-offs that become clear after a week or 2 of use. The 1 GB memory limit means you can't run too many simultaneous services. If you try to host a heavy Docker container, run a full-blown surveillance suite on all 4 bays, and stream 4K video at the same time, you'll notice the CPU throttling and occasional pauses. The CPU itself, while adequate for basic file serving and moderate transcoding, struggles with real-time 4K transcoding in Plex. You'll end up needing a more powerful model, if that's a core requirement. Also, because the drives are not pre-installed, you have to be comfortable opening the chassis, sliding the trays, and securing the screws. For a total beginner, that step can feel daunting, though Synology's online guide walks you through it. Who should buy this thing? If you're a household that wants a single place to store family photos, backup laptops, and maybe run a couple of IP cameras, the DS420j hits a sweet spot. It's also a solid choice for a hobbyist who wants to experiment with Docker containers or set up a modest home lab, provided they keep the workload under the 1 GB RAM ceiling. Creative freelancers who need a private cloud for large design files will appreciate the RAID flexibility and the ability to map network drives directly in macOS or Windows. On the other hand, if you're looking for a set-it-and-forget-it 4K media server that will transcode multiple streams at once, you'll quickly feel the CPU and memory constraints. Likewise, if you have no interest in managing drives yourself, you might be better off buying a pre-populated external RAID enclosure, even though it won't give you the same ecosystem of apps. A practical scenario: imagine you just bought a new DSLR, and you want to offload the RAW files every night without lugging a laptop around. Plug the camera into a USB-enabled router, point the upload folder to the DS420j's shared drive, and let DSM's File Station automatically sort the images into a dated folder. The next morning, you can edit those files directly from a desktop that maps the